morning all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org. Come to you this Friday morning, July 18th. We're looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. So we're seeing something that's a pretty common occurrence in a bull market. When you continually make all-time highs, many times you make overnight all-time highs, which again we're seeing today in both ES, NQ, SPY, triple Qs. It's a common occurrence, right? The market continues to push higher. The odds of those holding, as we've said many, many times, are slim. But again, we don't know. It doesn't have to be taken out today, tomorrow, next week, but they've never held. Second, in ES's case, your window for your hump levels right now, again, there's still 90 minutes to go, but as of now, very tight as you can see. I have the daily imbalance. We need to take out yesterday's high for ES to be up on all three time frames. So the bears are going to want to defend that. The bulls are going to want to defend the base of the price spike, which is F's high. That's the upper distribution. Remember, we had a triple distribution. They're separated, right? There's the upper distribution, middle distribution between F's high and G's low, and the first distribution from B's high to the day's low. So those are your real early hump levels for today in ES. NQ, on the other hand, the bears have retreated. There's nothing to defend. They're up on all three time frames. The bulls would certainly like to defend potentially the afternoon pullback or stay in the upper distribution, right? They only had two distributions. Now, the one thing that bulls will not have in their favor if they open inside of yesterday's range is what? Value. Value is critically important. Okay? So that's one thing they won't have early. For them to have value overlap at a higher, we need to be above the regular trade now all-time highs. And if you get the overnight all-time highs, value will be at least overlapping to higher and put the bulls in very good position again for the intraday. The other thing is 35.50 in ES. If they close above that tonight, you have an outside week up. Now, it's still balanced. It's a 3-week balance, but you would have an outside week up. Now, I don't expect to have an outside week down. That'd be a pretty much a catastrophic day for the bulls. But if you come down and close below 46.25, you would have that. The other thing, one thing that people who have followed me for years on here have realized or know, I always give both sides of the market. Okay? And that's because there are two sides of the market. Now, I never try to pick tops or bottoms, that's for sure. But the one thing that has occurred since April's lows we're up over 30% in ES and 40% in NQ. At some point, you want the longer time frame to come into balance. If you come into balance on the longer time frame, you would eliminate a lot of weak longs and potentially make the market stronger if you then come out of that balance back to bull. Okay, a market overall is not healthy if it goes straight up or straight down. And that's what we've basically done. Again, there's no way I'm calling tops. I never have done that, never will. But that is something to keep in mind at some point. The higher you go without coming into balance on the monthly, the more severe your pullback could be. We've seen that, right? 2-3 days, a week. So all of that to keep in mind. So game plan early for this morning. Again, for ES, if it was to stay in this level, it's pretty basic, right? You can short yesterday's high, out above it. You can long F's high, out below it, and then see if they play in the middle distribution, right? Those are early plays. The bears would certainly love to get the overnight low and push into the middle distribution, because then that would potentially keep the daily in balance and value at least unchanged. Okay? Again, we're in the upper distribution. Overnight is long right now. It's very long again. So this market continues to get longer. And the same with NQ. Again, would I short? The only reason you would short against yesterday's high is because of value. If you think there's a chance to keep value unchanged, then you could short it. But again, above it, you better get out because there's nothing to end to the overnight high. As far as a long, again, you can potentially take a long against the overnight low and out below the afternoon pullback low, and then see if they try to take back some of the trend day, or do they stay in the upper distribution. We'll recap all of these charts tonight at 4 o'clock. Again, if you're in the trading room, come 9:15, we tailor it down to what we're looking to do to start the day. Here's your weekly. It's a 3-week balance. Potential outside week up. So we'll see how that plays out by the end of today. This is the monthly we've been talking about. It's straight up from April's lows. At some point, you want to come into some sort of balance. And then the daily, again, it's a 2-day balance. Yesterday's high and Wednesday's low. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Good luck trading today, and we'll recap the day and the week at 4 p.m.